WICR.
That was Ariana Grande with Honeymoon Avenue. This is Anthony Payero. This is Payero's Power Play. Like I said before the break, we're here every Tuesday at 2 p.m. And this is a sports show with a little Spanish flavor. You know what it is. Again, my Dominican roots. So I play Spanish music because I enjoy it a lot. And I think it's a great way to broaden myself on the radio. Reach out to two different crowds. Inspired to become a DJ by Alex Sensation and DJ Lobo and all the guys down at 97.9 FM here in New York City. And also, I'm inspired by Michael K. I want my own radio show like him. I like Don LaGreca a lot. Those guys are great down at ESPN 98.7 FM. Those guys are great. It's just an inspiration as to why I want to do radio, why I want to do television, broadcasting, and all sorts of things like that. So as I said, it's a sports show. So let's get right into baseball. So it's going to be our first topic on the show today. And I'm a Yankees fan, but we try to be unbiased here on the show. But the Yankees are doing a great effort. They've been winning games, and as long as they've been winning games, so have the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are still holding on tight to the top of the AL East. With the 78-59 record, they are a half game ahead of the New York Yankees, who are sitting at 77-59. So the Yankees have gone 8-2 in their last games, and the Blue Jays have gone 7-3. So these teams are neck and neck for the top of the AL East, and it's going to be very interesting down the stretch to see who is going to end up with the show, with the title, with the pennant, who wants it the most. Nobody wants to play in that one-game wild card. That's not ideal. It's not what teams look forward to. And so I think that these teams are going to be able to battle it out throughout the rest of the season. The Yankees are hosting the Blue Jays later on this week, and I'm going to be talking about that next week, see how things turn out. Again, Yankees fan here, hoping for the best, hoping they win the AL East and continue to win, maybe find their way to number 28. But the Blue Jays are looking to hit the playoffs for the first time in like 20 years. So best of luck to both of these teams as they're both in a very tight race for the top of the AL East. We've got the AL Central. We have the Twins, 11 games back from the Kansas City Royals, who've just been on fire. They've lost last 4. They're on a 4-game losing streak. But this team started off hot, remained hot a little after the All-Star break, and they found their way here to September, and they're looking like no one's going to take them out of that first spot in the AL Central. And look at the Tigers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about that real quick. Last 5 years, the Tigers have been at the top of the AL Central, and no one saw that the Royals would be this good. Look at the Royals now. Royals and the Twins sitting atop, something that hasn't looked like this since the late 90s, since the 80s. The Twins were good in the early 2000s. Look at that. Look at where they are now. Second place there. And it's a very tight race there for the wild card anyway, with many of those teams involved in the AL Central. We have the Astros, who've made the switch to the AL. They've adjusted from coming over from the National League, and they've taken control of the AL West. They hold the 2-game lead over the Texas Rangers. And they're sitting with a 75-63 record, so they're well above 500. And it's just great to see these teams who used to struggle, who weren't known for good franchises. They used the farm system, they used trading systems, they used all their deadlines appropriately, and they're sitting pretty, hoping to make it to playoffs this year. It's going to be a very interesting playoffs, I tell you that. I cannot wait for October to come around, because we're going to see a lot of these teams who were there in previous years. Look at the Athletics. Playoff team 2 years ago, last year as well. Look at them now. They're sitting dead last in the AL West, 16 games out of first. These teams are ready to play. Like, these newer teams are ready. They embrace the opportunities given to them, and things are going to be changing there soon. Look at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's in dead last right now, 29 and a half games back out of first place. Cincinnati was a good team. And they're still struggling to find their way to the top. The Brewers traded away Prince Fielder, Ryan Braun still there, but look at that. They're not going anywhere this year. The Cubbies are sitting in third, 7.5 games back of the Cardinals. And the Pirates are 5.5 games back. So it's looking like the Cardinals, if things can hold up for them, they're on a 2-game losing streak. But the Cubs have won 4 straight. So things aren't in too dear there. The Cardinals, they've got to keep winning these games if they want to hold that lead. But they've got the best team in baseball right now. They got the best record, so we'll see what happens. It's been a very great season for the NL Central with those two teams, the Cardinals and the Pirates, fighting and continuing to fight for the top here. They're trying to do whatever it takes to get to the pennant. We've got the NL West covered up here with Dodgers a whole there with an 8.5 lead over the San Francisco Giants. It's looking like the Dodgers are going to win the NL West. But my question is this going to be their year? They've struggled all these past 4 or 5 seasons. They don't know what they're doing. As soon as they get to the playoffs, maybe they should put pitching limits on some of their good pitchers like Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke. Try to save some of them for the postseason. But we'll see what happens because every year the Dodgers are faced with a dilemma where they can't get past their opponents in the championship series and the division series. It's happened before, and will history repeat itself this year? We'll see, and we'll see what happens. But I, for one, would be very excited to see the Dodgers in a World Series game because it's been a while since that happened. And then we've got the Mets holding a 5-game lead over the Washington Nationals at the top of the NL East. And we're pulling for the Mets here on this show. We'll be honest. We're going to pull for the Mets on this show here. It's been a while for them. Last made a World Series 2000 against the New York Yankees. Everyone knows how that turned out. But we're rooting for them. Haven't been relevant in the playoffs since 2006. The good things haven't gone their way since. They've lost to the Cardinals in the NLCS that year. And hopefully the Mets can hold this out because everyone wants to see them in the playoffs. It's going to be great, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't been paying attention to baseball the last couple of years, you don't know what you expect. But let me tell you, it's going to be a great postseason, and you're going to enjoy every single minute of it. You're not going to want to miss a game. So we're going to go back and play some more music here. We're going to play a song by Daddy Yankee that starts to show off on a good mood. It's like at the end of the summer, Labor Day was yesterday. Take a day off work, relax, and if you're still relaxing, you're going to enjoy this song too. So we're here, Payero's Power Play. Next up on the show is going to be a little football talk, and then we're going to close out. So thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Payero's Power Play, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. This is WICR.